Hello everyone, it's Anthony Hable, AKW Blaze 91 here again, and today, like all these other months, it's time to do the video where I talk about the games I bought through this month, and talk about, give you guys a little update on what I'm doing. So let's not waste any time. I'm going to show you the games I've recently been picking up. I'll give you my quick thoughts on each of these. I'll give you a quick update on what I've been doing. Alright, so either way, I'm just going to go through the games I'm going right now. I just picked up and give my thoughts on them. Alright, so these two, right, so this one, I'm going to talk about the PS4 games I recently bought. And this first one is The Evil Within 2. I played through The Evil Within on the PlayStation 3, and I did download the DLC, but I had to go through it. But I thought also I get The Evil Within 2, the sequel. This is a sequel to the 2014 survival horror game that was originally by Tango Gameworks, and it was directed. The first game was directed by Shinji Mikami, the man who created the Resident Evil franchise. He was the director of Resident Evil 1, and he was also the director of Resident Evil 4. That game. Evil Within took a lot of inspiration from Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 1. And it was a good survival horror game, even with a couple of its issues that it had. Like, a lot of people complained about the letterbox issue. Some people didn't like the story. I personally thought the story was good. I honestly didn't mind the story because it was complex. You had no idea what was going on, which I think was fine for a horror game. But the shooting, it wasn't perfect. I remember giving it a 7.5 in my review when I did it on my GameSpot channel. But it was a good survival horror game for what it was. And I hope one day I will go back to the Evil Within one and tackle the DLC. And I'm planning to get the DLC with the first game. Now let's concentrate on this one. Evil Within 2 focuses on what happened after the events after the first game, with Sebastian Castellanos, the guy you play as, is back and is traumatized after the events of what has happened, involving the loss of his partner, where, spoilers, he meets up with his former partner, Julie Kidman. He says that his daughter, who is said to have been killed, who is said to have died in a fire, it said that she is still alive in the STEM machine or something, and Sebastian has to go back into the STEM machine that he was in the first game by the Mobius group and track down the missing Mobius agents and find his daughter, who is supposedly missing, so that he can have another chance at his former life. And for what I've played so far, it's actually a vast improvement over the first game. I mean, like, it's a lot scarier. It's got a lot more. The presentation is much better than the first. It's not in letterbox. And since they updated the game a bit more, they've added in a first-person mode as well, so you can play the game in first person. And even though it's not great and it's not the way it's meant to be played, I still think it was quite a little bit of a nice idea. And plus since I have a Bethesda account as well, considering I needed it to play Doom, on the PS4, no joke, I used my Professor account to get the Akumu difficulty, which is the insanely hard difficulty you can put this game at. What happens in the Akumu difficulty? One hit, you're dead. And I have seen playthrough, and I have seen a full playthrough of it on YouTube. Some guys actually have gone through Akumu difficulty on the original Evil Within, and it was insanely hard. I also did get my Evil Within 2 copy with the Last Chance pack, even though it was second-hand. There was a code in there with the Last Chance pack where you can get like a burst fire pistol, medikit, and some weapon and some parts, which can help you out to quite a fair bit in the early chapters of the game, and I made use of it. And thankfully, when I bought the game secondhand, the code was unused, and so I was very, very lucky. So I was one of the lucky people to actually get a code that was unused. Because I think when you buy the game secondhand, the code can be used on multiple systems. I'm only just guessing here, or it can only be used once. So all the code can only be used once, and that's it. You can't use it if it's already been used. Which was fine by me, considering I did get this. Considering I was lucky to get the code, and I got the enhanced gear. So I do like the Evil Within 2 so far. I've only played this the first hour of it, and I do think it's a much improved game over the first one. I do want to go back to the first game to do all the DLC, both for the PS3 and also for the PS4, because they both got separate trophy lists. So I want to get a platinum trophy for them. Right, next game is here is another game also from the same publisher, Prey. This was a game that got all kinds of mixed reception for some of the bugs it had. It might not be as buggy as any of Bethesda's crap, like Fallout 76, but it was a fairly glitchy game. But I don't know, I don't think I paid any attention to this one. But this was a game, Prey was a game, people wanted a sequel to Prey, the 2005 FPS game, for a long time. And this is nothing, I think, this is nothing like the 2005 game, which I think was an early Xbox 360 game. I don't know, I've never played the 2005 Xbox 360 game, so I have no idea about this one. But again, this one I played for about an hour, and my copy of the game did come with a code to get a shotgun pack, and thankfully, again, it wasn't used, so I was lucky to get a little code for it. And for what I've played so far, it's not a bad looking game. Just you need to figure out exactly what you need to do and where you need to go, because there's multiple paths on what you can actually do to advance forward. And I think the game has been patched up significantly, and it has improved. Yeah, so it's one of those games where, yeah, it might have had a not so great launch, but they have improved it with patches and all that. Right, next game is a little game I owned previously, but I swapped it for a better one. And it is Borderlands 2 Game of the Year Edition. I originally owned Borderlands 2 for the PS3, but I looked online on CEX, much similar to Borderlands 1, that there was a Game of the Year Edition of Borderlands 2, which has not only the game itself, but over £75 worth of DLC content. Right, so here we go. Here again, like I said, pardon me. Like I said, this box contains not only the game itself, but also £75 worth of downloadable content, all on disc, ready to go. But they're all separate. But instead of all being all together in a separate, all together in one disc, it's in a huge box, and it's got two cases in it. One which has got the game itself, Borderlands 2, and here's the disc which has the add-on content. And what you do is you would put in the add-on content disc onto your PS3, and then download all the content that's from the disc onto your PlayStation 3's hard drive. Then boot up Borderlands 2, and there you go. You got all the content, and there you go. You got all the new content. You got all the DLC on disc on your game, ready to go. And it would save me that. And it was a great idea to get this, because I'm interested in getting the Borderlands games. Because I have got Borderlands 1 on the PS3, and I've got Borderlands the pre-sequel. And I have got Borderlands the Handsome Collection on my PS4 for free, which also has all the DLC content from Borderlands 2 on there. And from what I understand, Borderlands 2 has different trophy lists from the PS3 to the PS4, but the PS3 version of Borderlands 2 is trophy shared with the PlayStation Vita version, so I have no need to get the PS Vita version. Unless I have read, the PS Vita version of Borderlands 2 is garbage, because it runs like complete dog shit on the Vita. And trust me, I have seen the PS Vita version running on the Vita itself. But you can run the PlayStation 4 version of the Borderlands games on the PS Vita in remote play, running at 60 frames per second, without any type of slowdown. So yeah, I'm absolutely happy to have found this Borderlands 2, the Game of the Year edition, and I have downloaded all the content, and it has given me some early weapons as well. Like when you immediately start the game, and if you've got all the content on it downloaded, you would start with some gearbox weapons. And I have already, when you start the game, like when you immediately start the game, you press triangle, and you already have all the gearbox weapons like given to you. It will give you like 3 weapons: an assault rifle, a submachine gun, and a sniper rifle. And trust me, I used these when I was first trying the game, when I was trying the disc out to see if it was working. And yeah, it works just fine, and I got another trophy for it. But testing it from when I was testing the game out. So yeah, great. And I'm looking forward, and I might look forward to getting Borderlands 3 for the PS4 as well. And getting Borderlands 1 Game of the Year edition on the PS4 as well. I do want to get that as well, because that'll be a separate trophy list as well from the PS3 version. Right, next up is another familiar franchise. This thing I was talking about, Bethesda. Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil for the Xbox. This is another Doom collector's item for me, because again, looking forward to Doom Eternal's release, and I've been picking up all the Doom games, just to help support id Software and the Doom franchise. And soon after, I'll be collecting the Wolfenstein games and the Quake games as well, because I want to support id Software, not Bethesda, id Software, because id Software is a far superior company from Bethesda. And id Software should break up with Bethesda and join forces with Treyarch, Infinity Ward or something. But yeah, this version of Doom 3 on the Xbox is a standalone game, whereas for the PC, Resurrection of Evil was an expansion pack, and it required the Doom 3 game installed on your PC to run it. On the Xbox, you can just pretty much just run it straight away. And this version of Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil is actually not that bad, considering the limitations of considering the capabilities and limitations of the Xbox. And also this version of Doom 3 also contains Ultimate Doom, Doom 2, and the master levels for Doom 2 as well. So if you wanted to play Doom 1 and 2 on the original Xbox, this was the go-to Doom game to get. And it was and the ports of it on the original Xbox version of Doom, on the Resurrection of Evil compilation, it's as close to the PC. Although running it on the Xbox 360, there's some sound emulation issues where you can hear a little bit of sound pop in, which can be a little bit annoying. But it's still a good port of Doom 1 and 2, and the fact that it comes with the master levels of Doom 2. It doesn't include Final Doom though, but oh well, still good one. Still a good one to have. And the next up, 2 more games for the PS4, but I gotta say this, my brother Simon came around 1 week and he gave me 2 PS4 games alongside an Xbox 360 game, Call of Duty Black Ops, which was a game I already had on my PS3, and I don't need the Xbox 360 version anymore. So I just decided, you know what, I'll just leave. You know what, I won't bother. We won't bother with that. And instead just replace it with something else. And these 2 games for the PS4 are The Last of Us Remastered and Resident Evil The Origins Collection. The Last of Us Remastered is an incredible is an incredible update, 1080p update to the otherwise overly excellent game on the PlayStation 3, The Last of Us. And I've played it and I have got the game on my PlayStation 3. I have got the Game of the Year edition, and The Last of Us is a superb survival, third-person survival game. Where you're Joel and Ellie are brought together by desperate circumstances, and they have to rely on each other to survive across what is left of the USA, as they survive against, you know, these thugs that are out to take over territories across, and of course these clickers. I think that's what they're called. And it's got superb voice acting and production values, especially Troy Baker's voice performance as Joel is fantastic. The multiplayer I have played on this is pretty good. Although what I wasn't aware of until something like about a week before it was going to be offline, was that The Last of Us, alongside Uncharted 2 and 3, were going to have their multiplayer servers shut down on the PlayStation 3 versions of The Last of Us and Uncharted 2 and 3. And I wasn't aware of it because I was too busy working with other games. And eventually, when I eventually looked it up, saying that the games were going to be shut down, the servers were going to be shut down for the online multiplayer. little jump cut there. So I was a little bit devastated that I won't be able to get the platinum trophies for those because those online trophies, but oh well, doesn't matter though. But at least I'll have another chance to get a platinum trophy in one of these in this. Because I plan to do a trophy run on this game. And I do like the story on this game. It's really incredible and depressing as well. And as for the Resident Evil Origins collection, this is a version of Resident Evil 1 remastered and Resident Evil 0, which was a prequel to Resident Evil 1. Which Resident Evil 0 takes place on a train. And the secret Umbrella Corporation warehouse. I think, I'm not sure, I can't remember. And Resident Evil 1 where it takes place in a mansion. And you're able to play the two games on one disc. And this is a physical Resident Evil classic, which is now put it into a single disc where you can play these on the PS4. And this was a good thing I got this, because from what I've read, Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 0, both for PS4 and PS3, are trophy shares. So if I do get either one of these on the PS3 and PS4, I'll end up doing the trophy list for either one. And I do want to go through trophies on it, and I actually am kind of interested to play this, because I haven't played through a single Resident Evil game before, aside from Resident Evil 4 and the Resident Evil Light Gun games, the Gun Survivor ones, and the Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles. That's it. That's the other one as well I've beaten. So this will be good for me, so I actually want to do some of the Resident Evil games so I can follow the story. And now the last game I have is the one that I have been looking forward to getting, and I finally after finishing the CD Duodecim on the PSP, I can finally start on doing my next game and do a playthrough of it, and it is Crystar for the PlayStation 4. I've been waiting to do a run on this because I've been interested to see what this game was like, and for what I played of this so far, it's actually pretty good so far. I got this game with the art book. Whenever you do buy either the physical copy of this or the digital version of this, I believe, you get a set of swimsuits for the main characters, and I have done, and it's all on disc ready, and the DLC is on, and the DLC costumes are on disc ready to go. This game's a very depressing action JRPG, following Ray, who's trapped in purgatory with his sister, and after trying to save her sister's soul, she ends up accidentally killing her sister, and she's forced into a contract with two demons, and becomes an executor who has to confront the tears and battle away through ordeals in the afterworld to save her sister's life. And for so far, it's not a bad game. I'm up to I finished the first ordeal in chapter 2, and I've gotten Ray and Kokoro in my party, and it's not an action JRPG where you've got 4 party members all on the field at once. It's one party member. there's one party member on view, but you switch between like 4 others, which is on the directional buttons. And it's not bad. I don't mind it. But the biggest thing about it is the story. The storyline in this is very, very depressing. You fight against revenants and specters that have memories of their former lives, where it involves, you know, sad moments where they left them into very depressing states, like them losing their loved ones, or them being unloved or something. It's just very, very depressing stuff. And like I said, Ray kills her sister in the very beginning of the game, accidentally, mind you, while she was trying to protect her. And Ray ends up going into a meltdown. And she has to comfort her in tears and sadness in order to try and rescue her. And in this game, tears aren't necessarily a sign of weakness, but of strength, because tears are not only capable of helping you to build up your guardian that you have with you as an ally, that you can summon for fight, or use a special attack, but tears can also be used to power up your weapons and armor. When you got like certain, you know, when you got certain tiers with you, which you can use for crafting, and I've been doing a fair bit of crafting and grinding. I'm over level 20 so far, 21 I think now, and I'm about 4 parts into my playthrough. And I've been doing this with the camera as an experiment to see if I can do some commentary on it. Whereas some of my other YouTube playthroughs I've done didn't include any commentary because I don't have a mic headset for my PS4, and I don't have a capture card which could capture my voice. So it's kind of an experiment. But of course, using my PS Vita camera, which is what I've been recording this with, instead of my Nintendo 3DS, it's hard capturing the footage, because trying to get the camera at least close to the TV screen as far as I can, without it obscuring my screen or having plenty of objects in the way, in order to get the best view possible, it's kind of difficult. I probably might end up working with something, but it's just going to be an experiment. If I can't figure out something, I'll probably might go back to just standardly using the PlayStation 4's recording system to record the game footage instead. But I won't erase the videos. Just let it keep going. But I'll let you guys decide on that. What do you think of my Crystar videos playthrough at the moment? Like, is the camera quality too zoomed out or not so great? As if it is, I'll go back to the I'll go back to just recording it on the PlayStation 4's recording system and just leave my commentary out instead. So there you go. I'm actually pretty pleased I got Crystar. This is going to be my next game I'm going to work with. And then after that, I'll probably have a break from RPGs for a while, before I go back to tormenting myself with Final Fantasy games. Oh yeah. So yeah, this is how much I've been buying so far. So I've got my hands on 7 games, well 5, then Simon came round and gave me 2 more games for the PS4. which I'm quite happy with. It's nice that my brother Simon. Yeah, sorry about that. Jump cut there. So yeah, it was nice for Simon to give me a couple of games that he had, so I can give them a go. And some of them I'll not end up reviewing anyway, and some of them I have been looking to get anyway as well. Now, last several months I've been really extremely lazy, but finally I've started to really get off my butt to really do some things. I've been sorting out a lot lately. I've been sorting out my 3DS finally. I'm finally be dealing with some of the demos on there, and I'm finally going to start setting up some of the other games and applications I haven't installed and I haven't set up on my Nintendo DS, my Nintendo 3DS, so that all the ones that I have played are ready to go and logged in onto the activity log on my Nintendo 3DS, because I want to make sure everything's all logged down onto the Nintendo 3DS's activity log, so I know which games I'm playing and which games I'm not playing. So that's a bit of a good thing. Considering all the recent games I have been getting. So it'd be nice to log a couple of games down, especially the ones I haven't tried yet. So it's just going to be me just testing out a couple of things with my 3DS and getting everything all sorted. And my 3DS XL's condition is good, although a little tiny piece of it snapped off, and I'll show you which little piece it is. This little tiny piece of it snapped off with my 3DS XL, and my 3DS XL is working fine. But I have no super glue or anything to stick this back on. I have no idea how this snapped off, by the way. I think it snapped off when I was trying to close my device. So one day I think it snapped off when one day I opened it or something. Who knows? I'm hoping to get super glue to stick it back on, or otherwise if I can't, I'll probably have to resolve to picking up a spare Nintendo 3DS XL, you know, just in case. Or I might just go back to my old Nintendo 3DS, which I have got a grip control, which I have got a grip for it. But I might like to get one of them updated new Nintendo 3DS models. Mainly the new Nintendo 2DS XL models, which I think will probably be better for me, considering it's the latest of the Nintendo 3DS library of consoles. So I think a new Nintendo 2DS XL will be probably more efficient for me, even though it'll lack the 3D. It'll just be the updated new Nintendo 3DS, considering it'll play the new Nintendo 3DS games, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D and Fire Emblem Warriors, as well as the Super Nintendo Virtual Console games. If I feel like downloading a few Super Nintendo games on there. And besides that, the new Nintendo 3DS is getting late into its life cycle because the Nintendo Switch is out, and it's surprising that Nintendo is still supporting the new Nintendo 3DS, because it is still a successful console. And there's still like a couple of new games coming out for it, like every once in a while. And I do want to play some of the DS games on it as well, because there's a couple of DS games I want to review on it. And trust me, I love some of the Nintendo DS first-person shooters on there, considering the DS touchscreen controls is fantastic. The touchscreen on it is fantastic for first-person shooters, especially GoldenEye Rogue Agent, the Call of Duties, Bionicle Heroes, one of my favourites, and Metro Prime Hunters, which I hope to do in the future. So yeah, so going back to the Nintendo 3DS might be a decent idea for me, considering there were some fantastic games for the Nintendo 3DS. So, and I might put up a schedule list once more about what I'm going to be doing and what I'm going to be working with so far. Obviously, this is being worked on, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to review it, and then afterwards I'm going to go back and I'm going to review some FPS games, namely Doom, because that's been on my mind for a while, and I want to do Doom, some of the Doom games, in time for Doom Eternal. And Doom is an important game, because Doom is an important FPS game I need to talk about. So, and as for more top 10s, I have no idea which one I'll do. And as for the menu controller I've been doing on my PS3, yeah, I'll talk about that maybe as well. I'll just get a couple of things all set together and chill, and then just sort things out. For me, I'd sort out some other things as well. I've got other things to sort out as well. So I'm going to leave it here for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed having a look at some of my games. I'll listen to your comments on what you think of some of the games I also got. Let me know also about my Crystar playthrough, if you want me to do it with the camera or just keep going with it, or just switch to the PlayStation 4's built-in record system instead, if you don't like the quality of my current Crystar videos that I uploaded. Also check out some of my Dissidia Dual Decimal video, my two Dissidia Dual Decimal videos as well. I did some videos on those. And check out some of my Battlefront 2 2017 videos as well. They're up. And that's it. I'm done. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all in the next video. So take care of yourselves, and goodbye.